My legs ached, my eyelids were heavy, and I just didn't have the energy to deal. I was exhausted. As I went about my day on autopilot, it hit me. I have spent years, literal years, feeling this way. I didn't know any better. I accepted fatigue as normal. Relief from short vacations were quickly forgotten. In my daily rut of lack of sleep and too much work, everything was a blur. Now I do know better, and my healthy days outnumber my cruddy days. I established new healthy habits, so when familiar overwhelm comes along, the contrast is more obvious. A healthy life takes work. I sometimes do fall back into old destructive habits, and the great thing about now is I can course correct more efficiently. Have any of you experienced this? Keep listening for tips to get back on track. Find the full transcript and more resources for physician moms at inspiredmommds.com/10. You're listening to Inspired Mom MDs with host Cindy Van Prague, helping physician moms take back control and prioritize what matters most so they thrive in private practice and at home. I have some incredibly early mornings to get to my job as an anesthesiologist. Thankfully, this is no longer every day of the week like so many of you. Kudos to all of you. These mornings are super early to get ready and drive into town along with so many other people. Like, who are these other people stuck in traffic with me at 5:45 a.m.? It might be one of you. This past week, I admit I slipped a little on taking care of myself. I know that for me, I need to be asleep as early as possible, ideally 10 p.m., eat a light dinner, and stay hydrated. I found that while the workday is still tiring, it doesn't have to tear me down. Well, this week it did tear me down, enough that I still wasn't recovered until at least a full day later. I noticed that I fell back on an old habit of not prioritizing my well-being, and I paid the price. So how do you rebound? What works for me is to recognize the why of feeling crappy, resetting established practices, and maybe strategizing new ones. Then I reward myself to seal the deal. Here are my tips for making it easier. So you can rebound and get a reward. One tip is to acknowledge the shift in energy. That evening, I got home and finally let my body sink into a comfy chair. You know how that feels? My eyes reflexively closed and I let out a long sigh, and then I allowed time to think. I acknowledged the shift to this draining energy as just not normal. I denied it the power to creep up on me like in all the years past. Granted, some shifts in energy are obvious, like falling asleep on the couch as soon as you get home, but others not so much, like the gradual tightening of my waistband. What? When did these pants shrink? Anyway, the moment of acknowledgement is pivotal. It's a moment of change for the better. A second tip is to reapply what does work. Habits are great. They're automatic, right? If I just get in the habit of X, Y, or Z, I won't have to think about them again. They're self-automated. Well, not always. This fun thing called life experience can put a wrench on habits, particularly if they are new. This doesn't mean you need to change your habits, just reapply some effort to get back on track. In my example from this week, my exhaustion was compounded by not getting to bed on time and I was dehydrated. Those were the routines that I broke, and now that I reflected and was aware, I could adjust. Another tip is you can strategize new habits and then reward yourself. So a work in progress means the work does need to continue. Finding a happy plateau in life doesn't mean I can sit back and chill. To be honest, I've never accepted being on a happy plateau because I feel like there's always more to climb. I can always still improve my diet, exercise, or relationships, so many things, right? And with each little success, I do reach a mini plateau, and there is a cause for celebration. Rewarding myself is so deserved. I want to dive in a bit about rewards. Many women I talk to think of a reward as something you buy, like buying that cool pair of shoes or an outfit, and that's fun. But the rewards could also be an experience, like a dinner out with your honey or a massage. Rewards can also simply be an internal satisfaction at getting something new done, or they can be the refreshed you that looks back at you in the mirror, like a visual reward that you did it. For me, checking off little boxes is rewarding. I'm a staunch paper planner person, the book like planners that some people carry around. That's me. In that planner, I have lists upon lists and thoughts and plans and schematics. And many of those have little check boxes I draw in front. And to place a little X when I'm done. Sometimes I admit I write stuff down I've already done that day just to put a little box and check it. Hello, dopamine. Do any of you do this? Back to my point about rewards. Pick what checks your box, something that resonates with you. Just knowing there's a tailored reward at the end of your task gives a small oomph of motivation and accountability. My hope is that next time a setback in positive habits strikes, you will recall a couple tips and just keep moving ahead. Keep working on your own well-being so you can continue to be the amazing physician and mom that you are. It starts with a pause of acknowledgement of what is amiss. Then you get to reapply what works and maybe brainstorm some new solutions. And finally, don't forget to reward yourself. It's time to take control and thrive. Thank you for tuning in to Inspired Mom MDs. Please share with other physician moms and leave a review if you found value from this podcast.